Hello everybody and welcome to Season 2 of my F123 My Team Career Mode campaign, and this is our Season 2 livery in action. We are doing a full 23 race calendar. If you want to see what races we're doing, please go back and check out the last video at the end, as that will give you the calendar for Season 2. But we are starting in Bahrain for the Bahrain Grand Prix, the season opener, and we've had a relatively good start to this My Team Career Mode campaign. We got a surprise victory in Brazil, so let's see if we can go better this season. I'm targeting a couple of podiums with a win as well, so let's say 5 podiums and a win. That is my target for the end of the season. But we're at the beginning of a new season. We had a regulation change to deal with. I salvaged what I could, but for now, we're still pretty much where we were at the end of the first season. And there are a lot of driver moves that have happened as well. Again, all of which happened in the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. But I am pleased to know that a patch went out today and has fixed the contract issues. So moving forwards, when we get to the end of Season 2, the contracts will run out at the end of the season as they are supposed to, and not in the middle. But right now we are doing our best to get through Q1, and I wasn't too sure that the first lap was good enough, so we've gone round again, and believe it or not, we've actually found some quite significant improvement here. As you can see, we're half a second up as we fling it into the last corner and go powering down the straight. And that is more than enough to get us into Q2. And in fact, we are looking very, very competitive here. And in Q2, again, giving it a push, seeing where we can end up. We just about fell short last year of getting into Q3 in our first season. However, in Season 2, we are going to push that bit harder. The car feels a little bit more competitive than it did this time last season, thanks to the upgrades we saved. We weren't able to save all of them, but a decent portion of them nonetheless to ensure we're competitive. And indeed, we have made it into Q3, and we made it quite comfortably with a time that was enough for P8. But look, Fernando Alonso leading the way by half a second in Q2, while his teammate Nick de Vries, who was promoted to Aston Martin for unknown reasons, only able to make 15th. And in the end, it's Fernando Alonso that's grabbed the pole. George Russell is second, Charles Leclerc third, Lance Stroll in P4 in his second race for Mercedes. Should be his first, but obviously we had the contract glitch at the end of Season 1. That has now been fixed. Lando Norris rounding out the top 5. This should be an interesting race.
Months of rumour and speculation all come to an end today as we return to racing for the opening event of what promises to be an enthralling season. Welcome along then to round 1 of this year's Formula 1 World Championship. We go racing today around the 3.36 miles of the magnificent Bahrain International Circuit, with 15 corners and 2 good passing opportunities into turns 1 and 4. Keep an eye out for drivers locking the front left tyre into the tricky braking zone of turn 10. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. Fernando Alonso lines up on pole position, just ahead of George Russell, who starts this event from P2. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Leclerc, Stroll, Norris, Sainz, Verstappen, Magnussen, Sparkles, Gasly, Albon, Ocon, Perez, Bottas, De Vries, Joe, Liam Lawson, Halger, Oscar Piastri, Tsunoda, Sargent, and Nico Hülkenberg rounds off the grid. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head down trackside for today's race. A new season then, a clean slate where anything could happen. Anthony Davidson is with me today as once again we get another year of Formula 1 underway.
We're into those tense few minutes before the first race then. Everyone's a little bit nervous about reliability. They haven't been running in the hot, turbulent wake of other cars in practice. They've not been pushing at 100% for long durations. Let's hope no one has to deal with any nasty surprises.
All the talk stops here. It's time to do the talking on the track. 5 lights are on. And we are underway for Season 2. Alonso gets away well. Max Verstappen in the back there, really not getting away well at all. The reigning champion having a terrible start to the race. But look at Alonso away up front. And that's, I think, me taking a massive dive bomb into Turn 1. We'll see my POV of that. But look how much Alonso has already stretched away. Right, to my POV then. It's lights out and away we go, and you can see Verstappen just not getting off the line at all. The reigning champ really not getting away, but look at that. We're down the inside of Lance Stroll already. We're going down the inside, braking very late, and we have T-Bone George Russell. That has not quite worked out for us. Luckily, we've taken no damage from that, but we are up into P4 after a massive dive up Turn 1. It was a bit ambitious to try and get Carlos Sainz, but look at that. From P9 to P4, and we are running in a very competitive position at this moment in time. I'm really happy with that start. Let's see if we can keep this momentum going. It's going to be very difficult to keep the likes of Leclerc and Stroll behind me, as they're in a Ferrari and Mercedes respectively, and this car is still not quite on the performance level that they're on. It's still got quite a way to go before we're on that. But we're defending Leclerc, we're defending P4, and Stroll in P5. He's probably going to want to get a bit eager on the back of Charles Leclerc, but no way there. We complete the first lap then in P4. Here comes Sergio Perez on Kevin Magnussen for P9, the highest running Red Bull in the race currently, and he's in P9. How a season changes it all, with Max Verstappen only in 13th behind what was De Vries, but now Albon, because they appear to be having their own little scrap too. Here comes Charles Leclerc down the inside of the final corner, but I'm going to play this one smart. I'm going to tuck in, go around the outside. I was going to tuck in behind him, but with the exit we got, we didn't even need to do that. Fernando Alonso leading the way then, setting the fastest lap. Russell second, Sainz third, we're in fourth, but Leclerc having another look down the inside of Turn 1. We're going to try and stick it out around the outside. He's hit the curb, got a little bit deep. I've got into him, lighting up the rear tyres. I'm on the left, Leclerc on the right. I've got the better exit, the better run, and we are just about able to maintain P4 there. Leclerc having to settle once again for P5 and having to rethink his attack on us. It's going to be very difficult to defend this all race. Meanwhile, here's Nick De Vries going after Kevin Magnussen. And this is De Vries trying to get himself in the points. Down the inside he goes, and I think De Vries is just about going to have this here. Moving up into P10. And this was drawn to my attention. Where's your helmet, Nick? De Vries very clearly there, not wearing his helmet. I've never seen that glitch before. Anyway, Charles Leclerc down the inside, and I was smart there. I was trying to let him through before the DRS point so I could have DRS on him. That's not quite worked out though. I didn't get DRS, but then again, neither did Leclerc, so a little bit surprised that neither of us had it, but I was able to retake him into P4 for the first corner, and now Leclerc once again having to regroup and rethink. Here we go again, down the inside, and this time he's clearly ahead by the DRS detection point, which means I'm going to have a nice dose of DRS, and he's going to be very vulnerable down the straight. Here we go then, Leclerc not even able to defend that, as we had some very good straight line speed with the DRS there. So Leclerc once again demoted. This is a fantastic scrap. And now Lance Stroll's getting involved, and Stroll spun! Lance Stroll trying to get himself involved there. He's gone round, and I wonder, are we going to get a safety? Yes, we get a safety car. I was wondering if that had turned into a red flag, but race control were happy to keep that as a safety car. No need to pit in at this early stage then. It's lap 7, and the safety car is coming in at the end of this lap, and we're getting ready to go racing again. And first things first, I'm going to try and attack Russell if I can. Leclerc was going to try and attack me, but it's not happened. Here we go. The slipstream we have is just unreal, but as we get alongside, it's a little bit more difficult. But I'm going to brake as late as I dare, and Sainz just diving out of my way there, seeing that coming. And we move up into P2 now. second in this race with Carlos Sainz desperate to try and make a move, but we have made some serious gains in this race. But like I said, because our performance is at a disadvantage, it's going to be very, very hard to keep him back. And as you can see, Alonso already up to 4 seconds ahead. Carlos Sainz has gone through at the end of lap 10. But again, we're doing that little trick where we make sure we get DRS, and Sainz just no answer to that. No answer to our straight line speed with DRS. And this makes me look forward to Monza now, because the straight line speed we have, again, seems very strong. So, again, I'm looking forward to seeing what we can do about this in Monza. Right, Sainz having a look down my outside here. No way through there. He's run out wide. And now George Russell's got alongside him. And Pierre Gasly is just watching this in P5 in the Alpine. Leclerc right behind him. What's going to happen here? We've got Sainz and Russell side by side. We've got Gasly waiting in the wings to see what comes of this. Charles Leclerc behind him, also waiting in the wings to see what comes of this. Leclerc actually now going down the inside of Gasly as Sainz goes down the inside of Russell. We got 2 cars side by side, 2 by 2 here. And I believe that's the McLaren of Kevin Magnussen wanting to get involved as well. So everybody wanting a slice of this battle. Down the inside goes what I think is Charles Leclerc, and he is now racing Carlos Sainz for P4. The 2 Ferraris going side by side, and I can imagine Fred Vasseur's heartbeat is going through the roof as Leclerc has another look down the inside of his teammate Sainz, hanging it out around the outside, and Gasly again just waiting in the wings, hoping for a disaster that he can take advantage of. Here comes Leclerc again, down the inside of turn 1. Is he going to make this move work? Yes, he does, but Sainz has got great momentum out of the corner, and these two are side by side. But Leclerc just ahead. Sainz, though, getting the inside, and Gasly's just looking to the outside thinking, is this going to go wrong? Can I capitalise? No, it doesn't. The 2 Ferraris are side by side again. Who is this going to work out for? I can't tell from this angle which Ferrari is ahead. They're both just going at it, hammer and tongs. Sainz on the inside, Leclerc on the left. Leclerc's now going to have the inside for the double left here, and Sainz having to tuck in. But Sainz is readying himself for another attack, and he's going down the inside as a car pulls into the pits. I couldn't see who that was. And Sainz once again back into P4. This is a fantastic fight between both the Ferraris. Meanwhile, I'm in for my first stop to get on the hard tyres. And what?
Okay, let's go.
Guys,
Perfect job.
have you hired Ferrari strategists or something? I set the one-stop strategy. I haven't even touched the strategy or tyre select option. And you've put me on mediums. I selected the medium to hard strategy. I swear down now I didn't even touch the strategy on the MFD, so I should still be going on hards, and you've put me on mediums. What the hell, guys? I'm now going to have to make another pit stop. Oh dear, it seems that JT Racing has indeed hired some Ferrari strategists. What has happened? That has completely ruined my race now, as I was attacking De Vries there in my despair. But oh my gosh, that is a huge mistake, and that is going to throw away some major points for us today that we were on for. I can't, I really can't, but we need to get back into this race, and first things first, we're diving up the inside of Zhou Guanyu. Somehow I'm still making the circuit as we move up into second place. How that Alfa Romeo is in third, I don't know. I don't know if he's stopped yet or not. But also, how is De Vries in fourth? That is a mystery. Leclerc retired from the race while all that's going on. And now retiring from the race is Logan Sargent. And now Kevin Magnussen is going after Nick De Vries, who has really impressively and shockingly placed his Aston Martin in P4, but Kevin Magnussen wants that position, and Kevin Magnussen has taken that position. Meanwhile, I'm fighting off George Russell up ahead. Russell not able to make his way through there, as we still watch Kevin Magnussen and Nick de Vries. And nothing in doing there. And this is going to be the view of us now. This is George Russell making the attack, and this is George Russell making it work. We're going to try and go to the outside here, but Russell covering, and we've just sold him the dummy and switched to the inside and got that move for P2 done. We convinced George that we were going to go to the outside. He moves across, dummy sold, and we've retaken position, but Russell was ready to attack again, and I'm just losing time racing these guys. We're going to pit at the end of lap 24 for another set of tyres. I'm going long, hoping for a safety car or a red flag. That was my strategy now, because I knew we were going to drop out of the points. So my plan is to go as long as I can and hope that we get a safety car or a red flag to save me, but neither has transpired. So we're just going to pit in at the end of this lap, and I'm gone deep already. I'm moving across to get into the pits, and that was just clumsy of me. I didn't realise Magnussen was there, and my clumsiness has just lost me even more time, and at that moment I just pit in. I fully hold my hands up and say that was completely my fault. I was just trying to get across to the pits, but yeah. Not an awful lot I can say about that, as we now pit in for softs. And I want words with whoever the strategist is here, because this has entirely ruined my race. Down to P20. We're behind our teammate Dennis Alger. It's a very, very disappointing start to this campaign. Again, I probably lost more time fighting Russell, fighting Magnussen. I think if I hadn't had that spin, well, I don't know how close I would have been to Hauger or Zhou, but I don't know whether I'd get that much further up the field. But it's lap 25 out of 29. We've got a few laps to go. Let's try and make the best of it. Here we go again. This is another look at it. Yeah, I moved across to try and get to make it clear that I was pitting, and Magnussen was still there. So that's my bad entirely. And this is the view from Nick de Vries, who sees it all unfold. Yep, Magnussen just giving me a tag. Round I go. And it did work out worse for me, so yeah. Anyway, here comes Nick de Vries having a look at George Russell and nearly losing it. De Vries has managed to move up to third as a result of this, and he's having a look at trying to make it an Aston Martin 1-2. And what a start to the season this has been for that team. But Carlos Sainz is on the left as de Vries is boxed in behind Russell, and Sainz stopping it from being two Aston Martins on the podium. And now Russell and Sainz are left to contemplate second place. Here comes Carlos Sainz. He's going to go around the outside of Russell. Russell covering the inside line. De Vries still there though. He's not going to give up on P3 easily. And if these two keep scrapping it out, he might have a chance at having a look. And he's going to have a look around the outside. He nearly loses it again. He's going round the outside of George Russell. And Nick de Vries getting it done. It's going to be a double podium for Aston Martin here. But for us, the most we could do was salvage a fastest lap, which I suppose is an encouraging sign, because it shows that there is pace there in the car. And, you know, the fact that we were running in the top few all race, we didn't give way, we didn't lose positions either. The defence was on point as well. It's an encouraging sign, but the start we've had, the race that's transpired, if it could go wrong, it did go wrong. And I don't know why we were put onto medium tyres, but it's pointless getting bogged down about it now. We've just got to live with it. P20 then for our first race. But like I said, there are lots of positives to take from it. I think we are about to have a great season here. But for now, let's just take those positives, kick something after this bad race, and move on to the next one. Fernando Alonso, though, takes the win of the Bahrain Grand Prix.
And an incredible win for Aston Martin. A brilliant performance. And Anthony Davidson, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
I feel like consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
Aston Martin's performance today has shown that they can be competitive with the biggest names in the sport. They're making their way out to the podium as we speak, and the reaction from the crowd must be incredibly uplifting for them.
Fernando Alonso getting his season off to the best possible start and winning the Bahrain Grand Prix. And let's not forget, he won Season 2 of my F122 My Team campaign. So is history going to repeat itself here? Are we going to see Fernando Alonso once again win a title in my F1 alternative F1 universe? Who knows, but at this stage it's the best possible start he could have, with Carlos Sainz finishing second, making it a Spanish 1-2. Nick de Vries getting on the podium. That's insane. With Russell and Magnussen rounding out the top 5, and Perez, Gasly, Stroll, Norris and Bottas rounding out the 10. Aston Martin will be beaming from ear to ear, and Nick de Vries from 15th to 3rd. That's a solid drive, even without his helmet. And you can see, obviously, the championship order is how the top 10 finished. And it's not the start we wanted, but like I said, the positives are there, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the season. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and hit the subscribe button if you're new and you want to see more content from me. Until the next time, I've been Joe, TTFN, ta-ta for now. Take care.